In this part, we're going to be discussing changing the characteristics of original characters. When thinking about original characters we know and love, it can be a major problem to change their race or gender or anything about their characteristics. This is because we bond with them, we begin to love them, we grow attached to them. So when you change them, it's like it's like an emotional thing that happens inside, like, huh?
What I used to do is I always used to refer to superheroes that I've come across as Black Batman or Black Superman or Black Spider-Man. Now, what Shamika said to me one day, she said, maybe you shouldn't do that because he isn't the Black Batman. In this case, I'm talking about a character called The Signal. He's got his own name, he's got his own story, so you won't be doing the character justice. So when Shamika said that, I thought about it and I said, you know what, I think that's right. I think that's the right way to look at it. Because what happens is, if we take an example like Iron Man,
Yeah.
Now, they have made a black version of Iron Man who is like a young girl, alright? But the argument against something like that is you miss out on having a new character.
Yeah, she could be somebody in her own right.
Yeah.
She can't be Iron Man because she's not a man.
Yeah. Not even that she's not a man, like she could still be Iron Man. She could actually take on the mantle of Iron Man. Yeah. They could even call her Iron Girl. But the fact being, she's there and everything that, the whole reason of her existence is because of Iron Man.
Yeah, and everything that we have grown to know and love, if you're a comics fan, or because you have people who watch movies and you have comic fans who like love everything about comics. Everything they've grown to know and love has been broken down.
Yeah.
So it's like in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, there was a character named Aunt Viv. Now all of a sudden in a particular season, Aunt Viv changed. So you had Aunt Viv who was like brown skin like me and Issa, and then you had a new Aunt Viv that was just another black lady, but she was fairer skin. And it was like, hold on, where's the first Aunt Viv? It took a while to get used to the new Aunt Viv because you'd grown and loved the first Aunt Viv. And I know I keep saying Aunt Viv, but that's how it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's a really good point, yeah. Now, but if we bring it back to superheroes, just so I can explain what's in my head.
Sorry, I went off.
That's alright. Now, this character I told you about, who I used to say Black Batman, yeah, he's actually called Duke Thomas and he's called The Signal. He was just trained by Batman and his outfit has a similar look. Okay? So he's got his own powers, he's got his own storyline,
and he works alongside Batman. So Bruce Wayne is Batman in the night and The Signal is Batman in the day. But he's not Batman, he can't be Batman because Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Exactly.
So he is The Signal. They work alongside each other and The Signal has got strength in his own right.
That's it. That is only talking about race. Now imagine if we were to talk about gender or any other orientation that the character has. Now, the race of a superhero is actually very important. And the way I look at it is, imagine if all of a sudden they made Black Panther white or Asian or Russian or whatever.
It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't.
It just wouldn't make sense.
And I just think, how would I feel about that? I would think, no, Black Panther is black. I've got a connection with him. So, although it's about storylines and what they do and things you can learn from the story, their race is part of it.
And in an ideal world, it wouldn't be, because we are technically just all one human race. But because of the social construct and the way the world that we live in is set up, race is a part of everything. You know, in history, there's race, there's tension on. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it is so important sometimes to some to hold. If you have a race that's close to your heart, that's not usually, you never see them represented usually, and you see them, to take that away is like, it can be devastating, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that might sound dramatic, it is over dramatic that I'm saying, but that is actually what happened.
That is, and you have to look at history. History is real, okay? History happened, it's documented to a certain degree. I'm not going to say that it's documented 100%, but history happened.
Yeah.
Things happened, you know. Certain races went through certain issues. So, because of things like that, when I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of black characters on television. When I used to watch TV, on the weekend I got to watch TV a lot. Yeah, it didn't have streaming and stuff. A lot of the characters that I saw were not my colour. So when I saw characters that were my colour, I had a special connection to them.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah, because when you see those characters, you believe that you can do it. I can do it. Even if it's just a fictional character, it doesn't matter. It opens up pathways in your brain that makes you think, oh, well, they have special powers, I can have special powers too. And that doesn't mean special powers, like a special power can be just being able to listen to somebody. A special power can be just being there to help a friend in need, or just being able to tell if somebody says that they're not okay, just being able to tell that they're okay, and just, you know how to deal with the situation. That's in everyday life, all of us have gifts, and all of us have those superpowers that are not, we don't call them superpowers, but they actually are.
Now the fact remains that if there was a character that was black that I really liked and they changed to another race, I know I would want to know why they did that thing. I don't know if, I think I'll be upset. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it's just honest.
It's just how you feel.
Just how I feel.
Can't help it.
Yeah. And then you could also even think, what does someone's race have to do with their superpowers? A lot of the time, it doesn't have anything to do with them.
It doesn't. Like we said before, it's just the social construct of the world that we live in. That's all race is.
Yeah. And we have to remember, the character was made a certain way by a certain person, and we can't go back in time and change that inception. It's already been done. And people that create things, they use their own past experiences,
images,
things that they like, things that they've gone through. They use all of that stuff to make these characters. So who are we to come and take it away? Yeah,
but realistically, they don't only just use their own past experiences, because what they did during slavery, how they portrayed black people, that's not in their past experiences. That's just how they decided to treat people and see people. Do you know what I mean? But they have their own image and the way they see things.
Yeah, I think what I mean more is everyone has, there's no excuse, yeah? Everyone has an option of how, if they get to create something, of what they get to put down. If there's something that they don't like, then they don't have to create it. Like, you're completely right. So even back when there was like mass slavery with black people, Shamika's absolutely right. Yeah, they showed people a certain way, but they could have not done that. But at the end of the day, they did.
Yeah. Because
they decided to be part of what was happening, and then they decided to create things to keep that going. So, that's history.
And like 90% of the time, when we create an image, like all of you guys, if you decide to draw or something that you like to do, you usually create something in the image of yourself or people around you. Do you know what I mean? If I do pictures, I draw pictures of brown people because I'm brown, and if you're white, then you probably draw pictures of white people because you're white. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You draw things in the image of yourself or the people around you.
Yeah. So, thinking about it, and I've spent time sitting there thinking about it, I think what's really needed is diversity across the whole industry.
Most definitely.
Yeah, from whoever owns the companies all the way down to the illustrator. So that No one's being held back because of their race or because of their gender or their orientation, and everyone gets to create what they want to create.
Without boundaries, yeah.
So I'm still on the fence. I change. I go back and forth because I'm human, and there's not a right or wrong answer.
There isn't. It's just our opinion.